President Joe Biden has been a fixture in national politics since the early 1970s. Let's delve into the life of the 46th U.S. president and how he transformed from a scrappy kid from Scranton, Pennsylvania, to leader of the free world. During his presidential inaugural address in 2021, Joe Biden took a personal tone as he spoke about financial insecurity and people worried about their jobs during the global pandemic.
I understand, like my dad, they lay at bed staring at the ceiling, wondering, can I keep my health care? Can I pay my mortgage?
For those following Biden's career over the years, stories of his father were common, but many listening to the speech surely wondered just who Joe Sr. was and how he influenced the president's life. Joseph Robinette Biden Jr. was born in 1942 in Scranton, Pennsylvania, where he was the oldest of 4 children to Joe Sr. and Jean Biden. During his early years, Biden's father struggled finding steady work, so the family lived with his maternal grandparents for a time. Following a job opportunity to clean boilers, Joe Sr. moved the family to Delaware in 1953. He eventually found a middle-class career as a used car salesman and was able to move the family into a modest house. Biden once said of his dad, "My dad always said, 'Champ, the measure of a man is not how often he is knocked down, but how quickly he gets up.'" Lessons from his father's career struggles created a sense of resilience and empathy in Biden that he carried with him into politics. As a child in Delaware, Biden's fellow classmates nicknamed him Dash for a rather cruel reason. Biden wrote in his memoir, Promises to Keep, "I talked like Morse code, ... dash. He's described his stutter as one of the most difficult things he's had to overcome in his life. During a talk at the American Institute for Stuttering, Biden said, "I can think of nothing else that has ever stripped me of my dignity as quickly and as profoundly and as thoroughly as when I stuttered in grade school." After speech therapy failed to help Biden as a young child, he began diligently working to overcome his stutter as a young teen. Holding a flashlight to his face, he'd recite Yeats and Emerson in his bedroom mirror until he gained control, and Biden can still recite the poems to this day. As a politician, Biden would go on to inspire others who stutter and, in one case, made a profound impact on a young boy who thanked Biden for helping him feel, quote, confident.
And in a short amount of time, Joe Biden made me more confident about something that's bothered me my whole life.
With a knack for sports like football, Joe Biden was eventually nicknamed Hands as a kid, as noted by the Miller Center. At Archmere Academy, the private Catholic boys' school he attended in Delaware, Biden began to establish himself for his skills on the field. Biden wrote in his memoir, Promises to Keep, "As much as I lacked confidence in my ability to communicate verbally, I always had confidence in my athletic ability. Sports were as natural to me as speaking was unnatural." Though they had a dismal record, Biden and his team began to shine when new coach E. John Walsh recruited new players and switched up positions during the future president's senior year. They ended up with an 8-0 season, and Biden's point total amounted to 60, one of the highest in the entire state. Biden went on to play football at the University of Delaware, but quit to focus on his poor grades. Joe Biden's spring break in the Bahamas during his junior year of college ended up being more than a fun-filled co-ed trip for a pretty big reason. He met his future wife, Nelia Hunter, there. Biden recalled in Promise to Keep, "When she turned toward me, I could see she had a beautiful smile and gorgeous green eyes. The couple became serious, and Joe won over her Republican parents despite his political and religious differences, seeing as Joe was Catholic and Nelia Presbyterian. The pair was married in 1966. While Biden attended law school at Syracuse University, Nelia taught school. His father, a car salesman, traded in the couple's used cars to get them a flashy new Corvette as a wedding gift. As Syracuse.com noted, Biden recalled sitting in his tiny kitchen eating a bowl of cereal for dinner, laughing about the expensive car just outside his door.
I like to drive. I used to think I was a pretty good driver.
Joe and Nelia Biden had mapped out his career after law school. During this period, the couple also started a family and had 3 children together, Beau, Hunter, and Naomi. After successfully winning his first elected seat in 1970, the couple set their sights on the U.S. Senate. In 1972, Joe unseated an incumbent Republican, with Nelia, the brains behind his campaign, by his side. But Nelia wouldn't live to see Joe serve. 1 week before Christmas, a tractor trailer struck Nelia and their 3 children in the family station wagon. Nelia and 1-year-old Naomi both died, while Beau and Hunter sustained injuries and were hospitalized. Biden said in a 2015 Yale commencement speech, "My whole world was altered forever." In his book, Promise Me, Dad, Biden wrote, "The pain had seemed unbearable in the beginning, and it took me a long time to heal, but I did survive the punishing ordeal. I made it through with a lot of support and reconstructed my life and my family." After a tragic car accident turned Joe Biden's family life upside down, the young father had tough choices ahead of him. With 2 sons recovering from the accident, he took his oath of office in the hospital, knowing his future job would require him to spend significant time in D.C. Biden wrote in HuffPost that he made the choice to ride the train to and from work every day, about a 90-minute trip from Delaware, so he could tuck his sons into bed every night. Biden said in a Yale commencement speech, "I did it because I wanted to be able to kiss them goodnight and kiss them in the morning the next day. Looking back on it, the truth be told, the real reason I went home every night was that I needed needed my children more than they needed me. He continued the tradition for 36 years, traveling over 2 million miles on the rails and earning the nickname Amtrack Joe. Biden developed a work routine that started with boarding in Wilmington. He wrote in HuffPost, "I'd read the papers and make phone calls. At Baltimore, I'd start preparing for that day's hearings, amending my opening statement or going through the list of witnesses, and by the time I arrived in D.C., I'd be ready to jump right in." 3 years after Joe Biden's first wife passed away, his brother introduced him to a woman finishing her last year at the University of Delaware. Jill Jacobs, who was 9 years his junior, wasn't so sure the man in a sports coat and loafers was for her, but by the end of their date, she was smitten. She told Vogue, "I went upstairs and called my mother at 1 a.m. and said, 'Mom, I finally met a gentleman.'" As the couple became serious, Biden's sons, Beau and Hunter, approached their father about making it official. He recalled in his memoir, Promises to Keep, that Beau said, "We think we should marry Jill. What do you think, Dad?" Though Biden proposed to Jill numerous times, she waited until she was certain. Jill told Vogue, "I really felt that this marriage had to work because they had lost their mom and I couldn't have them lose another mother." The couple married in 1977 in a small Catholic ceremony, and his son stood by them at the altar. Joe and Jill had a child together in 1981, Ashley Biden, whom Jill let Hunter and Beau name when she discovered she was pregnant. In 2008, after winning the Democratic presidential primary, Barack Obama, who was largely seen as ambitious and charismatic, but also young and in uncharted waters as the first African-American nominee, needed to balance his ticket. Among his top picks for a running mate, the New York Times reported, he was seriously considering Senator Evan Bayh, Governor Tim Kaine of Virginia, and Kansas Governor Kathleen Sebelius. But he ultimately went with Joe Biden. Biden's experience in the Senate and with foreign policy bolstered Obama, who noted, "We couldn't have been more different." But in his book, A Promised Land, Obama wrote, "Joe Biden had impressed me with the skill and discipline as a debater, and his comfort on a national stage." Obama called the then senator with the news while Biden was at the dentist's office with his wife Jill, who was getting a root canal. Biden accepted, though he reportedly hadn't thought he was the frontrunner. Despite bumps along the way, however, Obama never looked back. According to CBS News, Obama even noted that choosing Biden as his vice president was the single best decision I have made. The friendship that developed between Barack Obama and Joe Biden during their years in the White House became meme-worthy. But one of the most touching moments between the pair came in 2017, when Obama surprised Biden by awarding him with the Presidential Medal of Freedom, which is considered the nation's highest civilian honor. Obama joked during the ceremony,
"This also gives the internet one last chance to talk about our bromance."
The story goes, according to the New York Times, that Obama invited Biden and his wife Jill to a private farewell at the White House. But as Biden entered a room filled with family members, colleagues, and the press, Obama's true purpose was revealed. After being awarded the honor, Biden told the crowd,
I don't deserve this, but I know it came from the president's heart.
Obama awarded Biden the medal with distinction, which Obama called, quote, "an additional level of veneration that is rarely bestowed by presidents." Biden joined honorees like Pope John Paul II and Colin Powell in the rare distinction category. Joe Biden's eldest son and namesake, Joseph Robinette Biden III, more commonly known as Beau, followed closely in his father's footsteps. Beau went to Biden's high school, Archmere Academy, and later Syracuse University's College of Law like his dad. After working as a federal prosecutor and joining the Delaware National Guard, Beau ran for office for the first time in 2006. He became Delaware's Attorney General, befriending then California Attorney General Kamala Harris at the time. In 2008, he hit the campaign trail for Biden and Obama and spoke at their Democratic National Convention. Biden wrote in Promise Me, Dad, "Beau had a way of instilling courage and calming me." Beau set his sights on becoming Delaware's next governor, but at the time, health issues were already plaguing him. After suffering a stroke in 2010, he was diagnosed with brain cancer 3 years later. Beau passed away in 2015 at 46 and was survived by his wife Hallie and 2 children. As a tribute to his son, Biden played one of Beau's favorite songs, A Sky Full of Stars by Coldplay, after his presidential victory speech in 2020. In April 2019, Joe Biden formally announced his bid for president, citing Donald Trump's response to the 2017 white supremacist rally in Charlottesville, Virginia, as his core reason.
But you also had people that were very fine people on both sides.
Biden said in his announcement video,
The President of the United States assigned a moral equivalence between those spreading hate and those with the courage to stand against it.
Biden then went on to add,
And in that moment, I knew the threat to this nation was unlike any I had ever seen in my lifetime.
Biden eventually secured the Democratic nomination in June 2020 and turned his efforts to defeating Trump alongside Veep candidate Kamala Harris. In November 2020, Biden achieved that lifelong dream by winning both the popular and electoral votes. He promised to be a president for everyone at his inauguration, adding, quote, "My whole soul is in it." Check out one of our newest videos right here. Plus, even more list videos about your favorite political figures are coming soon. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and hit the bell so you don't miss a single one.